where should we start? We've already established what Kokichi is after.
He's just gonna keep talking anyway, isn't he?
In my experience, whenever you learn a new fact, you learn something else along with it.
Yes, let's look for that.
You warmed up to him real fast. I guess you are both robots.
So another truth comes out. That piece of evidence makes more sense now. The evidence that I couldn't wrap my head around. What are we getting at here? Window. Coat. Okay, so think about the coat. It's white kind of. Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is. What evidence needs to be analyzed again? Oh, okay. The murder video?
It's a murder video because wouldn't the technology be down?
Yeah, that's a good point. There's also this piece that we still don't really understand, but I think it might be the murder video.
This is it! Let's discuss the video of Kaito being crushed by the hydraulic press. Kokichi said that he filmed that video to prove he was not the victim. But we know that Kokichi was trying to mislead Monokuma. So what about the video? It's pretty strange to present evidence that condemns you after all.
Then what kind of mistake was Kokichi trying to get me to make?
So, also, just the interesting thing is, we did already vote. So what's going to be the deal with that?
I'm not sure. Maybe that's null and void because, like, Monokuma won't accept that answer?
Maybe.
Maybe he crushed Kaito with a hydraulic press, so the cause of death would be unknown?
But if that were the only objective, there would be no need to film it. Discovering the crushed body would have been enough. No need to show us the film.
That's true.
I guess you're starting to fit in after all. If you get any cuter, I'm gonna hug you.
Aww.
Huh? Really?
There must be a reason you went out of your way to show us the body being crushed.
No reason, really. That's just my twisted personality.
You're lying again, Kokichi. There's a method to your madness. If you wanted Monokuma to make a mistake in showing us the video, it must have something to do with trying to fool Monokuma. Taking the video of the murder but keeping the victim's identity hidden. What does it show? What doesn't it show? Hangman's Gambit. Doesn't show. 3 letters. So let's see. What do we have? E, M, I, C. I'm just gonna hit this dry stuff. Okay.
Victim?
Victim. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay.
I see now. The victim.
Huh?
Is it even possible? No, that's a question for later. For now, we know that...
If you show the moment of Kaito's death, of course it would lead us to believe he died. Even if we can't positively identify the body, we would still believe Kaito was the victim. And that might be exactly the mistake Kokichi was going for.
Does that mean the victims were switched?
Switched?
Then it was some other dead body that got crushed by the hydraulic press? What?
Where would he even get another body?
There should be plenty to choose from if you reuse the body of a former victim.
But how would you get access to that?
If there was an unknown body, then we could guess the victim was switched.
Well, we clearly can see that it's Kaito in the video, but
But too bad! Switching the victims was impossible. The footage showed the body being crushed. When in the footage would they have been able to switch the victim? And we already established that the footage was not doctored in any way. The camera doesn't have any editing functions. Just play, record, and pause. Monokuma also said that no computer was used to edit the footage. Remember?
Use pause.
Me and my big
I don't
mouth.
know.
yeah, pause. And there is a pause in there, so maybe. But I feel like with a basic function, the pause would just be pausing, like watching it, not pausing the recording. But it could be something like that.
Which means switching out the victim would not be possible.
And then also the thing you mentioned earlier about the electro bomb say potentially disabling the camera is interesting.
Also, if the victim was switched, then that would mean Kaito is still alive. We already discussed this so many times. The chance of
could
that
be
happening
Kaito.
is impossible.
It might be possible.
Huh?
There could be a trick to make the switch possible. We just haven't noticed it yet.
Oh, and what trick is that? See, you don't know, do you? I already said it's impossible.
Maki's not wrong. There is a way it could be done. So we can't just give up here.
Hey, Shuichi. I'll think harder about this as well. So, can you confirm whether or not the victims switch places? If Kaito is alive or not?
Maki.
I don't like the thought that I killed Kaito. I don't want that.
Okay then. Let's talk about the possibility that Makiro mentioned.
Himiko, if you call her that again...
I don't think
Yes, please.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think she's gonna have a problem with Himiko saying it. Just not Kokichi.
Oh, okay. Then let's all talk it over together.
Together.
And don't forget, you're not alone. Don't try to do everything yourself. It's only gonna wear you out. When times are hard, you gotta rely on your friends.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Jeez, you guys are a stubborn bunch. There's no trick.
Monokuma's just sitting there like, this is what always happens. You just can't fight this.
That's probably another lie.
However, if the victims were switched, then that would mean the footage was altered. How could it have been altered when we know that the footage wasn't edited?
If we could figure that out, maybe we'd know how they switched places.
I knew there was a trick to that video the whole time. Kokichi made it, so it's 100% suspicious.
Trick to that video. What could it be? What's suspicious about it?
There must be some trick to that video.
That's what you all gotta figure out.
There is no trick. You can check, but there's no editing function in that camera.
Did the placement of that camera seem suspicious to any of you? The filming angle seemed unnatural, don't you think?
Let's see. It shows the moment Kaito's crush, so it doesn't talk about the camera itself.
The person in that video. Was it really Kaito?
Okay, oh, it was the
Something
coat.
seemed off
Okay.
about that video to me. When the hydraulic press stopped for a brief moment.
Could it be that the video was shot at another location?
Any other bright ideas?
Interesting.
Come on, everybody, speak up!
Interesting that so there's two things in there that harkened back to chapter 3 of the second game. That I don't know if either of them are accurate, but if they're not, especially, I think that it almost seems like they're references because they Tsumugi mentioned the camera angle, and then Himiko said shooting it at another location. It's just like, well, this is not chapter 3 of the second game, so I don't know. I feel like someone said something that gives us a clue. If we put our heads together, we can find a hope. We won't fall into despair.
There must be some trick to that video.
Let's see. Okay.
That's what you all gotta figure out!
Yeah, I think it might be something with the electro
There
bomb.
is no trick. You can check, but there's no editing function in that camera.
Okay, I don't.
The placement of that camera seems suspicious to filming angle seemed unnatural, don't you think?
Filming angle.
Person in that video.
mm,
Was it really Kaito?
Something seemed off about that video to me. When the hydraulic press stopped for a brief moment.
Could it be that the video was shot at another location?
Any other bright ideas? Come on, everybody, speak!
Okay, I gotta shoot something. Felix said something that gives us a clue. Okay, yeah, so it's gonna be one of the blue ones. Maybe I'll try shooting Kibo's thing with the press. Because, like, the hydraulic press doesn't just stop.
The filming angle seemed
The person in that video. Really Kaito?
Off about that video. When the hydraulic press stopped for a brief moment.
There we go.
I agree.
Nice.
Kibo is onto something. Isn't it weird that the hydraulic press stopped for a second? Because when Kibo and I first investigated that hydraulic press,
God damn it. Every time.
Slightly, the hydraulic press kept
Makes me
rolling
so
itself without
anxious.
stopping.
but in the video,
Yeah, it stopped for a second.
The hydraulic press stopped briefly? Right before it crushed the body?
But why would it stop?
Is that? I'm trying to think, because they cut the power to the press. I wonder, because it didn't just stop, and maybe this is me reading into it too much. It didn't just stop. It also stopped and then very quickly just fell. So I almost wonder if that was that Kokichi cutting the power to the press. So it had something to do with that.
Maybe.
Or someone doing that. But I don't think that... It doesn't really explain what's going on here, if that's the case, so I don't know. Why did the press stop? There's only one reason I can think of. Fine, okay. Yeah, I do think the idea of the pause function might make some sense here. What am I looking at? The remote? Maybe the remote can control the press in some regard. Is that an axis? Oh, that's... I can't tell what that is.
Looks like an XSL.
Yeah, it does. Oh, what's up here? The control panel. I think out of all these things... God damn it. Wow, this That sucks, okay? The remote seems like the most logical answer. Okay, yeah, I guess that was it.
The only way to stop the hydraulic press is the force stop button.
Oh, that was the hydraulic press control panel. That makes more sense.
An electro bomb went off in the hangar, which would have interfered with the safety function. There'd be no way to stop the hydraulic press unless someone used the force stop button.
When you say someone, you mean Kokichi, right? He was the only one there.
Actually, maybe I pressed it by accident. I don't really remember. So what of it? The press only stopped for like a sec. You can't switch the victim in such a short time, can you?
That's true.
There's also the question of how the bodies got switched while the camera was rolling. That would have clearly been caught on camera.
While the camera was rolling.
Oh, I see. It wasn't just the press that
okay.
stopped.
Huh? Huh? What do you mean?
If you stop something else at the same time you stop the hydraulic press.
Yes, I see it now. That's how the bodies were switched. If you stopped that, you could easily have swapped you could have swapped the bodies easily. Oh, another mind mine? Okay. Yeah, no, but I'm pretty sure this is the camera. Hammer. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
I see it.
Just pause the recording.
Yeah.
The culprit stopped the video camera at the same time as the hydraulic press. Then, while the camera was off, they switched the body under the hydraulic press. After the body was swapped, the press and the camera were started simultaneously. So it just looks like the press stopped for a moment.
That's what I've been saying this whole time!
When did you ever say that?
So they stopped at the same time. The camera position did seem odd to me. But now I get it. The trick wouldn't work unless it was set up there.
Huh? Why?
To get the trick we just described to work, the camera had to be set up precisely.
Let's pin that down. Where was the camera set up? So interesting. So it wouldn't be, I guess it's probably not from the control panel. Was it like
I was wrong!
okay, so maybe it was from the control panel
Thinking
then.
it was next to the control panel, so that way he can hit the force stop button and pause the video at the same time.
That's true. It just seems like too obvious to make me go through this, but okay.
The video camera must have been set up somewhere around here. To operate the press and the camera at the same time, it would have to be near the switch.
That's why the video was taken from that unnatural angle. If they were recording it like normal, they would have used a better angle.
And if it was recorded at such an odd angle, then that proves the trick was used.
See, to me, it just seemed like, of course, they would record it from the control panel so they can record it when they start the press. Like, even if there wasn't any trick used, like, where else would they record it from? they'd have to start the press and then run down the stairs to get, like, the front angle while it was going.
Camera angles, huh? Looks like your cosplayer experience is finally useful.
Wow.
Well, cosplay doesn't really come up all that much in class trials.
There was a reason the camera was set up there, but also a reason for the height.
True.
When the press was stopped, you couldn't really see who was inside it, correct? That was intentional. The body is mostly hidden by the press, making the swap easier.
The camera must have been placed at such a high position so it would produce that angle.
I wonder if they used that tripod in the hangar to adjust the camera's height.
Did they get that from the warehouse too? Jeez, that place is like a 4D pocket.
You don't get to make that reference.
Then, that logic is correct, right? Kokichi used that video angle trick and switched the victim in the hydraulic press.
But to who?
In that case, Kaito is...
Before he was crushed by the press, he was swapped with a different body.
But then he would have just died to the poison, right?
So Kaito's still alive!
Well, wait just a minute.
What? But I just summed it up so nicely.
Himiko, the different body you mentioned, what are you talking about?
The bodies from the other cases. Kokichi's the mastermind, so he...
Yeah, that's what like I said earlier, how would he have gotten access to them?
Wait, the mastermind?
Yeah, Kokichi isn't the mastermind, so... I don't think he'd be able to produce a body to switch out.
What?
Well, Monokuma, do the rules allow for a body to be reused?
Is Kaito the one who's still alive and Kokichi's dead?
Very well, I'll answer that.
You're giving in pretty easily.
Well, it's crucial information to make the trial fair. This discussion is pointless if it's not clear what the culprit was allowed to do, right?
You're a convenient mastermind, but I guess that makes defeating you worth my time.
Now then, regarding the reuse of a dead body. That is impossible! All the dead bodies have already been thrown away.
What?
Thrown away?
The other bodies are... gone? Then who did Kaito switch places with?
Kokichi and Kaito were the only ones in the hangar at that time. If they were the only ones present during the body swapping trick, then the real victim was... the person in the hangar. What? If it was an old body, it could only be...
What's wrong, Shuichi? Who did Kaito switch places with?
Maki, I think I missed something very important here.
Something important?
If I have the timeline right, there were only 2 people in the hangar at the time. It means that something had to have been decided before. I have to pin that down. Can't let anything escape me this time. Okay, another Hangman's Gambit. Okay. But how were the bodies swapped if only 2 people were in the hangar? Yeah, what am I looking for? Victim. Okay, let's pick them again. Victim. Okay, what are we getting? No. The victim. H. I'm still not getting the word. Helper?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like that's kind of where I thought it was going. I just wasn't sure what the word they were looking for. Yeah, clearly they were both on the same page, which makes a lot of sense. And I kind of figured that it was to some degree before we got into the whole trying to trick Monokuma thing, because Kokichi made it sound like he was going to help. Because when we were talking about the fact that we think Kaito killed himself, it made it sound like Kokichi made it sound like he was going to help him. But helped with a D. I was looking for an R. I was like, there are no R's.
I can't believe I overlooked this.
What do you mean?
There were only 2 people in the hangar at the time the bodies were swapped. Which means they were working together.
Huh? Working together?
The only 2 people involved in the swap were the victim and the culprit. The culprit was operating the camera and the hydraulic press, while the victim lay inside. If they switched places while the press and the camera were stopped, then the person who turned the camera and the press back on was the original victim. To put it simply, both people operated the press and camera at different times.
That would mean the other person died.
An impossible trick, unless the victim and culprit agreed to cooperate beforehand.
The victim and culprit cooperated? Is that even possible?
It sounds bizarre, but perhaps that was the whole point. Commit a crime that was so confusing, even Monokuma would be tricked.
Jeez, this culprit's a real jerk. So, have you realized who done it yet?
The culprit of this case. My detective work hasn't failed me. The culprit is inside that exisal. It can only be them.
The apparent victim we saw in the video was Kaito, which means Kokichi was operating the hydraulic press and camera at first. If the 2 of them switched while the press was stopped, then the culprit who started the hydraulic press again and crushed Kokichi must be Kaito.
But that would mean that Kokichi is dead and that he agreed to die even though he was okay?
So, the person inside that exisal isn't Kokichi.
It's just so confusing.
It has to be Kaito.
Yeah, there's gotta be more to that aspect of
Yeah,
it.
like, why would Kaito be pretending to be Kokichi? Unless, what, they made some sort of, like, master plan?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, because that's a good point too. Because this whole time Kaito's been pretending to be Kokichi. He's been. I could not imagine Kaito doing such a good job impersonating Kokichi. Even like the voice changer, sure, but like his personality and all the lies and everything. Like Kaito, I don't think Kaito's capable of that.
I don't think so either. Like, even with like a voice changing machine or anything, like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it. This is all over the place.
What did you say?
So the culprit for this case is Kaito Momota. That is what the ultimate detective has deduced, right?
Kaito is the culprit? What? You're joking, right? You can't be serious.
I don't want to believe it either. But it's the only way any of this makes sense.
Okay, so thought. I'm thinking maybe I thought of a way to rationalize this whole thing. Maybe because I'm wondering about Kaito and the poison, but that aside, I think I even mentioned because I think Kokichi I think the antidote that Kokichi drank was for the wrong type of poison. So maybe Kokichi was going to die anyway, and if he did die to Maki's hand, then Maki would be the blackened. So they kind of agreed. Kokichi was going to die anyway. They set up the deal because Kaito agreed to the deal to protect Maki. Kokichi agreed to the deal to trick Monokuma, and that's why they agreed to do it the way they did it.
But still, it wouldn't make. I mean, still, why would Kaito? I mean, yeah, I guess that would, Kaito acting as Kokichi would also help with Kokichi's plan of tricking Monokuma. But yeah, no, as you mentioned before, I just don't see him acting in that way to be able to pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely still agree with that.
My detective work has led me to the conclusion that Kaito is the culprit.
Is that true? Is Kaito really in there?
Hey, answer us! If you really are Kaito, then...
I'm the culprit.
Huh?
There's just no way that Kaito can still be alive. Because I'm the culprit.
Wait, you? But didn't you say...
I saw it with my own eyes. Kokichi drank the antidote that he stole from Kaito. There's no doubt Kaito died. And he died because of my poison arrow.
But you told us you didn't want to kill Kaito and...
Yes, I never wanted to. I wanted to believe that I didn't kill him. But the truth speaks differently. In the end, I was just running away from the facts.
Huh? I don't understand.
Maki, are you trying to protect Kaito? If he's the culprit, you're trying to help him get away.
There was only one antidote, so it's more likely he died from my poison arrow. This is the truth.
I wonder if Maki hasn't been 100% truthful.
It's not decided yet. I could have still killed him with the hydraulic press. Either way, those are the two options. Monokuma knows the answer, right?
Huh? Are those the only options?
I guess that's how things turned out.
No, that can't be. The person in that exisal is...
It's not Kaito! I saw Kokichi drink the antidote! There's no mistake. Kaito is dead. I killed Kaito. There is absolutely no doubt. That's the truth.
I thought so. Maki is trying to protect Kaito. I understand how she feels, but if Kaito is the culprit, why did he agree to Kokichi's plan? Can't imagine that Kaito would do something so selfish. There must be a reason for it. I truly believe that. But I have to get to the bottom of this before I can uncover that truth.
But Maki, you don't know for certain that Kokichi drank the antidote.
What?
You saw him drink it right in front of you, but you couldn't confirm he actually did it. So maybe there's another possibility.
What are you talking about?
Oh.
Impossible. That's impossible. There is no other possibility. I killed Kaito!
Oh, interesting.
I killed Kaito! You're the one who's wrong. He died from my poison arrow.
Right,
There's no other
unfortunately, I have
possibility.
to head off for now, but yeah, hopefully I can be back.
What do you know?
Stream. All right.
Okay. Yep. See you later.
I killed Kaito! You're the one who's wrong. It doesn't matter what you say. I'm telling you, this is the truth. But you keep getting in the way. You're so goddamn annoying. It doesn't matter what you say. I was at the scene. So I know I'm not wrong. I'm sorry I kept quiet till now. I wanted to believe I didn't kill him. But I won't run away from the truth anymore. Because I know what I saw. I was at the scene. So I know I'm not wrong. I'm sorry I kept quiet till now. I wanted to believe I didn't kill him. But I won't run away from the truth anymore. Because I know what I saw. I was at the scene. So I know I'm not wrong. I'm sorry I kept quiet till now. I saw Kokichi drink the antidote.
Tended to drink the antidote.
It ends here!
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. He didn't swallow it. And then after Maki left, he gave it to
just
Kaito.
Pretended to drink the antidote. He didn't actually drink it.
He pretended to drink it?
Drinking the antidote was part of his lie. Maki could only see so much through the window. She didn't confirm Kokichi drank it. I believe that Kokichi knew this and just pretended to drink the antidote. After Maki left, he gave the antidote to Kaito. There's a strong possibility that all of this was done to make Kaito cooperate.
Make him cooperate?
The swapping trick required the victim and culprit to work together. Kaito's cooperation was essential to Kokichi's plan. However, I don't think Kokichi would be able to sway Kaito easily. He needed leverage. He gave Kaito the antidote in exchange for his cooperation.
In exchange for his own life, you mean?
Kaito had no choice. He had to cooperate after Kokichi saved his life. That's just Kaito's character, and Kokichi knew that.
That's true. That I agree with.
He swallowed his pride with the antidote and agreed to participate in Kokichi's plan.
But didn't Kokichi make this plan? What good is it for him if he's dead?
I imagine this was all part of Kokichi's plan to confuse us. You wouldn't think that someone would plan their own murder.
He went so far as to give up his life, just to create this mystery?
Only Kokichi could think of something so nefarious. Who else would agree to die just to execute their plan?
He's crazy. Why would he go that far?
I bet Kokichi was determined to beat me at my own game, no matter what. But too bad! Shuichi figured out the truth!
Truth? Are you sure it's not delusion?
Delusion?
Yeah, this really still doesn't feel like it could be Kaito.
A delusion completely off the mark. To make you think that I died. But who cares what you guys think? This is between me and Monokuma. I don't give a crap if the extras in this game get it right or not.
Extras?
I'm fine with being an extra.
Okay.
Huh? Why?
If we're just extras, then even if we get it wrong, we won't get killed.
No, I'd still kill you all. Don't put Kokichi's words in my mouth.
But why? You are being so friendly with us.
If Monokuma gets it right, then he takes everyone's lives, yeah? But if Monokuma gets it wrong, then he'd have no right to take everyone's lives. If Monokuma doesn't know who the culprit is, then this killing game can't function anymore.
Can't function anymore.
Kaito, I believe in you.
If you're cooperating with this plan, you must have a reason. To determine that reason, I need to reveal the truth.
I still think Kaito is the culprit. Thinking of it that way makes all the pieces fit. I will show you the truth. The truth you can't deny.